on our agreement.
Your foot's starting to jump a little bit. You better get to your next question.
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Do not ask me a question like that. I'm not biting.
You dress like you paint. Look at you.
Does.
You just hate kids.
Lights, camera, controversy.
Hey, speaking of death. Okay. What time?
Get ready, folks. Today's video is guaranteed to grab your attention as I uncover some of the most unforgettable yet awkward moments celebrities flipped out on disrespectful interviewers.
Oh my God.
Sit back and enjoy the latest inside scoop on Hollywood's most explosive moments. Number 1. Tom Cruise puts cocky interviewer back in line. Imagine being told to put your manners back in by Tom Cruise. 60 Minutes reporter Peter Overton got owned by the king of action after pestering him with some really personal questions about his ex-wife.
Was Nicole the love of your life?
What do you mean, Peter?
And it's obvious Tom is trying to maintain his cool here. He's on the brink of losing it, but with Peter constantly overstepping, he finally snaps and tells the cocky reporter to quit being such a jerk. Peter once again tries to act slick and claims the only reason he's asking these questions is because that's what the public wants to know. But Cruz isn't having any of that. He silences Peter again, calling him out for not only lying, but making things up only to get some juicy personal details.
So people want to know.
Peter, you want to know. Take responsibility for what you want to know. Don't say what other people. This is a conversation that I'm having with you right now.
You're right.
Okay.
Number 2. Robert Downey Jr. walks out. Watching this interviewer die inside is so awkward. Even before he asks the question, you can actually feel the tension building up in the room. Plus, despite knowing he's going to piss Downey off with this one, he still decides to go through with an absolutely disgusting question. So we all know Robert has had some substance problems in the past, and this dumb interviewer literally asks him whether he's past all that or not.
The reason I'm asking about the past is that you've talked in other interviews again about...
I mean, asking a former addict whether they're ever going to do drugs again is pretty disrespectful. Anyway, I'm glad Iron Man handled it all with such grace as he walked out of the interview with a smile. Number 3. Krishan at it again. Yape? Looking at this guy's face is kind of getting annoying now. But I think the only reason why he still has this job is because he's so bad that the interview ends up getting a ton of views. He apparently asks Pharrell a really personal question about his intentions towards another person.
I would never answer a question like that.
You would never answer a question like that. And that's why that song needs to exist. You want to know why?
The iconic singer completely flips the situation and asks Krishan an intimate question in return to show him how it feels to be on the other end. Krishan gets all nervous and sweaty and refuses to answer the question, proving on national television that he's nothing but a hypocrite. Number 4, Elon Musk destroys reporter. Look, I don't have anything personal against these reporters, but I do believe they need to be shut down every now and then. And watching Elon take this BBC reporter to the cleaners is so satisfying. The reporter attacks Musk about some Twitter-related issue, but after finding a serious flaw in his line of questioning, the billionaire takes over the interview. He sets trap after trap for the interviewer, who continues to stumble on his own lies that he can't even clap back.
I think it's slightly sexist, it should be banned.
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm
just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content.
Elon then seals the coffin shut by calling him out for lying, which makes the reporter extremely hostile and defensive. Honestly speaking, Musk deserves recognition for giving this reporter a taste of his own medicine. Number 5. Bill Burr manhandles Bill Maha. Bill Maha learned his lesson the hard way after trying to act smart with famous comedian Bill Burr. Maha is dealt blow after blow, with Bill attacking him on all fronts. At one point, you even start feeling second-hand embarrassment for the pretentious host, But if you ask me, it's well-deserved. Burr was so quick with his witty comments and jokes that Maha didn't even get time to breathe as he struggled to clap back.
Your wife...
It's a little more pronounced.
You're such a victim right now with all your libtard friends.
Either way, the content is classic. Listening to Bill tear the 68-year-old host apart is just awesome. Number 6. Trump shows Leslie Stahl the mirror. Trust me, I get the hostility, and I'm sure you do too. There's no denying that Trump is a controversial figure, but trying to frame a story without facts is a bit harsh.
Right from the beginning. No, your first question was, this is going to be tough questions. Why? You don't ask Joe Biden.
And by all means, asking a president, former or current, tough questions is a right, but not letting him answer and constantly trying to twist his words is wrong. And if you think about it, Trump's reaction here is completely justified. He does an excellent job at showing Leslie Stahl the mirror after bringing up her past interview with Joe Biden. And if you remember that one, you'll also recall the part when Leslie was literally asking Mr. Biden his favorite ice cream flavor. I mean, why the double standards? Number 7. How about some relevant questions? Watch this clip as Tom Hardy tactically destroys this reporter for asking an extremely irrelevant question.
I don't find it difficult for celebrities to talk about their sexuality. Are you asking me about my sexuality?
Sure.
It's an interview right after the Legends movie in which Hardy plays 2 twins, out of which one happens to be gay. The reporter asks Tom whether he thinks it's difficult for Hollywood celebrities to talk about their sexuality. He's initially confused, but tries to answer politely, but it then takes a rather strange turn as the conversation becomes about Hardy's sexuality. Everyone in the room becomes awkward, but Tom brilliantly handles the situation by shutting down the interviewer in the most respectful way possible. Number 8. Skype father. Sometimes interviewers ask the dumbest questions ever. It's Hardy again, and the reporter literally asks him how it feels to be a Skype father.
As a Skype father, you coined that term. What are you on about, man?
The interviewer got the treatment he deserved, though, after Tom told him how all of his questions suck and how he needs to do a better job at coming up with them. And in case you don't know what prompted that reaction from Hardy, the question was actually a dig at how the Hollywood star doesn't see his children that often. Number 9. I'm shutting your butt down. It's this dude again. He's probably the most famous guy out there when it comes to terrible interviews. And what he's doing in this interview is so absurd. He's asking Tarantino whether the violence he shows in his movies is related to real-life violence. What sort of a question is that? But Quentin is an experienced man.
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Do not ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
Why?
Straight off the bat, he knew what Krishan was trying to do and told him to stop trying, since there's no way he's going to bite on these questions. It eventually gets so heated that he tells Krishan he's not his slave and doesn't need to answer any of his questions. The altercation finally ends with Tarantino telling the interviewer he's shutting his butt down. Number 10. Terrible hosts. For those of you who know Dylan McDermot, you know he's had a tragic life. His mother was murdered, and the dude has pretty much carried that weight on his shoulders his entire life. But these reporters got a little too ahead of themselves after abruptly asking him about the murder, followed by death jokes.
Hey, speaking of death, what time?
You can see how his expression immediately changes, and at one point, they even offer him a shot of whiskey, despite knowing he's a recovering alcoholic. And you're probably wondering, why isn't there any reaction from him? Well, that's the point. He handled it all so professionally that both these nasty interviewers eventually cut it out themselves. This guy is the definition of class. Number 11, wrong guy to mess with. It's all going well. Tyson is in Toronto. He just met up with the mayor, and we're about to have an interesting interview with the one and only.
Mike Tyson is here to promote the first ever performance in Canada.
That is until this reporter brings up something about the former heavyweight champ being a convicted rapist.
It's more nerve-wracking for me to hear talking to a rat piece of shit like you. Come on, like.
Firstly, why would you even call him to the interview if that's what you wanted to bring up? Along with being extremely unprofessional, it also hurts his reputation since he just attacked him on national television. Anyway, as usual, Tyson doesn't hold back and flips out, calling this passive-aggressive reporter all sorts of things before the interview is cut short. That's what happens, folks, when you try messing with the most dangerous man on the planet. And as for this reporter, he's lucky to be alive. Number 12. Interviewer tries to kiss Will Smith. This guy got exactly what he deserved after trying to get a little too close to Will Smith. The Hollywood veteran was staring at a premiere for his latest film, Men in Black 3, when this weird dude tried to kiss him on the lips.
Problem, buddy. Hey, sorry, you said kiss me in my mouth.
Will Smith was caught off guard, so he shoved him away before giving him a nice, crisp slap on the face. To be fair, the interviewer was clearly overstepping. Smith was pretty nice initially when it was just a hug, but trying to kiss him on the lips? Now that's strange. Number 13. Not angry, just disappointed. This interviewer got schooled by megastar Tom Cruise after pranking him during a red carpet event with a fake mic.
It's ridiculous. Do you like making less of people?
He's much luckier than the previous guy who got slapped, but Cruz still took the chance to give him a well-deserved disciplining. He held him by the hands and pulled him forward, repeatedly asking him why he did it. The guy is clearly embarrassed, and the cherry on top is when Cruz tells him he's not even angry, but disappointed because of his dumb prank. And when you think about it, Tom actually mastered the situation. The interviewer was trying to get a reaction, but the fact that the actor remained calm and kept questioning him almost made this dude cry. Number 14. Jonah Hill gets body shamed. I don't know why people hate this guy so much. He's brought us such amazing movies, and for an interviewer to ask him if he's still the fat guy in Hollywood is just nasty.
Roy, the football player.
Oh, really? Oh, man. Well, good luck.
That's actually body shaming, you know? And you can also tell just how uncomfortable that question makes him as he starts swaying in his chair. But he's a serious actor and knows how to check people.
Island.
Yeah,
Liz did that.
Absolutely. So I mean, these all sound like just words to me.
Before diverting his attention to a different interviewer, he asks whether anyone else has any questions that are actually smart. Number 15. Wrong question, buddy. It's strange how all these interviewers are so confident when it comes to asking inappropriate questions. Get a load of this guy. It's supposed to be an interview about the Avengers, but instead, he asks Scarlett Johansson whether she wore any underwear during filming.
Now, were you able to wear undergarments?
You're like the fifth person that's asking
Well, no,
that to
because
me. What is going on?
And credit to Scarlett for handling that question with such grace. She immediately shut him down and made him rethink his entire existence.
It's not a...
Is what I...
Is it inappropriate?
Asking him when we started asking people about their underwear. But instead of apologizing and moving on, this report just dug deeper as he continued to justify the question. Number 16. Don't mess with Mel. Imagine trying to play Mel Gibson in an interview.
Good morning, Dean. Good morning. Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm doing
How's
very
things
well.
over there? Cold, I'll bet.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy is the definition of badass. Here's how it goes. This uppity interviewer brings up Mel's past and asks him how the public is going to perceive him now since his movie is about to be released.
Mel, everybody has been asking why you took the 7 years off from starring roles.
You can tell Mel doesn't like the question and initially tries to remain calm, reminding the interviewer that it's been around 4 years since he's moved on. But this interviewer wants to play with fire And when he keeps trying to grill Mel, the superstar responds with a lovely comeback, telling him how almost everyone has moved on from that except for him.
Oh, yeah, 4 or 5 years, yeah. It's been, hey, it's a real roller coaster ride. You know, I think I'm the same person I always was, except for people as they go.
And not to forget how he calls him an a-hole as well, rightfully ending the interview. Number 17, Matt Damon defends teachers. Matt Damon knows his stuff, and when this reporter comes up to him and tries to dumb down the teacher wage issue, he does not tread lightly at all and ends up destroying her and the cameraman.
You think job insecurity is what makes me work hard?
Well, you have an incentive to work harder, but if there's
I
job
wanna be an
security...
actor. It's not an incentive, that's the thing.
And after schooling the interviewer, the cameraman steps in and asks Matt about the 10% of teachers who are bad.
10% that are bad, though? 10% of teachers are bad.
Where'd you get that number?
I don't know.
Instead of flipping out, Damon reminds him how it's possible he might be in the 10% of shitty cameramen. Number 18, Jesse Eisenberg delivers some passive jabs. Since the start of this interview, this interviewer has had a weird standoff-ish energy.
So Freeman plays a magic debunker.
Freeman? Who are you? Yeah. Freeman? Yeah. What, are you on a baseball team with him?
She's challenging the actor on every single thing, and even then, the Now You See Me star is cordial and tries to keep things smooth.
I heard that you have a snap card trick that you learned or something.
Sure, yeah. I brought a card.
But when she gets a little too carried away, Jesse delivers some excellent passive jabs.
Do you know the comedian Carrot Top?
Yes, horrible.
Well, you were like the Carrot Top of interviewers. Yeah.
Reminding the interviewer who's the real star here. At least he's nice enough to complete the magic trick for her, though. Number 19. Joy Behar gets silenced. I love how some of these so-called interviewers and journalists think they can outwit celebrities on their shows. The host, Joy Behar, brings up a political view of his in order to trap him.
Do you think political office is in your future? Can you see that?
But Matthew isn't just a brilliant actor. He's a brilliant individual as well, and immediately silences her by refusing to give her a direct political statement.
One thing about if me in politics is...
You can even see the moment Joy decides to back off after realizing she's biting way more than she can chew. Number 20. David Letterman being a jerk. Sometimes we all need help, and life isn't always all sunshine and daisies. And that's a lesson David Letterman needs to learn after being unapologetically rude to Lindsay Lohan on his show.
This is fun, I love seeing you.
Yeah, I love seeing you, honestly.
I do.
It's nice. Oh, you,
Stop.
Yeah.
He almost brought her to the verge of tears after constantly asking her about her rehab.
Are you supposed to be in rehab now? How long will you be in rehab? How many times have you been in rehab? What are they rehabbing, first of all? What is on their list? When you go to the rehab, what do they do?
Sometimes the best response to disrespect is no response at all.
I thought this was going to be vodka.
Oh! Now, you gotta.
It often makes the other person look like a total jerk. Number 21. Mila Kunis wrecks interviewer in Russian. Imagine being an interviewer and asking a celebrity why they are in movies. But if that wasn't enough, she even asks him about the sex in the film. But before Justin even gets to answer, Mila Kunis takes over and handles the situation all on her own. She bombards the interviewer with a series of questions to help her realize the absurdity coming out of her mouth. Number 22, full-figured woman. Full-figured woman. What does that even mean? And I really feel for Christina Hendricks here. She's had to hear so much of this nonsense during her time in Hollywood, and the fact that it's coming from another woman is just disappointing.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry.
The interviewer asks her how it feels to be an inspiration to many as a full-figured woman.
I have been an inspiration as a full-figured woman.
She tries to play it off, but it's clearly gotten to her, and that's when she claps back and points out what a weird word that is. Number 23, outgunned by estrogen. Interviewers have a thing for messing with Tom Hardy. Before asking a strange question, this interviewer mentions,
But I just wanted to ask you, as you were reading the script, did you ever think, why are all these women in here? I thought this was supposed to be a man's movie.
And in this particular film, since Hardy was performing with a lot of females, the dude asked how it felt being surrounded by all these women in a man's film. The look on Tom's face was priceless. I bet that's the third stupidest question he's ever heard. All it takes is just one word to shut this sexist interviewer down.
No. Not for 1 minute.
Number 24. Anne Hathaway scolds a young man. Even though Anne Hathaway said she wasn't offended, I think we can all agree she was a bit blown away.
Really excited about this. It was a couple days ago we finally saw the first photos of you as Catwoman.
I mean, it looks like she's being playful, but no one likes to be put on the spot about their weight loss. Plus, is kind of weird. Anne is one of them. Number 25, the famous chef Gordon Ramsay. Let's try to shame Gordon Ramsay. I can't imagine how that's going to go. This interviewer hit one of Ramsay's restaurants, ordered a steak, and left with a bad experience.
It's really weird for you to give me a piece of paper, and when you say, am I satisfied that it's a good steak, you have to be a little bit more honest with me on that one. What are you trying to get at?
Ramsay then told him off, but this interviewer is smart. I'll give him that much. I mean, even I wouldn't want to be on camera for ordering a well-done steak. Number 26, you never forget your bullies. Michael B. Jordan must have felt so good after this interview. This interviewer bullied him throughout his childhood and even called him corny on one of her podcasts.
And, you know, we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark. Oh.
And if you've ever been bullied before, I know for a fact that you never forget them. That's exactly what happens to this lady here when Michael goes off on her, reminding her how she bullied him through school.
Corny kid, right?
No.
She gets all awkward and tries to play it cool. Number 27, Ellen caught lying. Even though Ellen is super entertaining, she does have a rumored history of being extremely toxic.
I was invited? Why didn't I go?
I don't know.
Was
But trying to put Dakota Johnson on the back foot? That's not going to work. Ellen starts poking at her, asking her why she wasn't invited to her birthday party. Plus, when you think about it, Dakota kind of cancelled Ellen without even knowing about it. Number 28. Kane finally does the impossible. If there was an award for talking over people and not letting them finish, Piers Morgan would be the unanimous winner. During an interview with Kane, Piers pulls off his classical move again.
Not someone's toes, you stepped on the entire Jewish people's toes.
You can tell that one really bothered him, but Kane, being Kane, he continues to battle Morgan and finally gets him to stop talking so he can finish making his point.
The way to respond to that is not to go public to millions of people.
Me. Power move incoming. Once Kane is done talking, he tells Piers that the interview is officially over and walks out of the frame.
Interview adjourned. Love you.
Leaving the interviewer all awkward as he stares at an empty chair. Number 29. Jim Carrey at his best. As Carrey blasted the NYWF 2017 red carpet event for being the most useless thing ever, he also said the event has no meaning at all.
I wanted to find the most meaningless thing that I could come to and join.
And while she tried her absolute best to save the interview, it was no match for Jim's wit.
No, I
Was
didn't
that an
get dressed
accident?
up. I didn't get dressed up.
Who did?
There is no me.
But hey, that's Jim Carrey for you. He came, he saw, he conquered. Number 30, gotcha. Legend has it that Jordan Peterson is the king of checkmating interviewers, reporters, and journalists. She hasn't hesitated one bit, in the hopes of offending the psychologist, but all that changes rather quickly.
You cited freedom of speech in that. Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Jordan calmly answers the question and reminds her how she's wasted no opportunity.
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now.
and that's when she knows she's done.
I'm just trying to work that out. I mean,
She's trying hard to think of something to say, but the words just aren't coming. This prompts Peterson to let out a snarky gotcha, further adding to her embarrassment. That's it for today's video, folks. So what do you think? Which celebrity do you think did the best job? And did I miss any famous controversial interviews? Let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more interesting content in the future.